court, you've got guys like, Joel Dyer, who has been a great player all season long. So I think shooting and defense, that's the name of the game.
Absolutely, and the big part of this Huntington's 9-game winning streak right now is their defensive pressure and rebounding, and that's exactly what Coach Corey Alford's looking for tonight. We're going to take a short break, send it to the national anthem, and we'll be back for starters between the Huntington University Foresters and the Mount Vernon Nazarene Cougars. You're listening to Huntington University Basketball on FDN Sports.
There'll be no national anthem before this evening's game.
Back inside Platt Arena, the Crossroads League tournament begins tonight for both these teams, Mount Vernon Nazarene and the Huntington Foresters. Huntington comes in tonight on a 9-game winning streak, playing their best basketball all season long. But the same could be said for the Mount Vernon Nazarene side, as they've won 2 games and they just knocked off Indiana Wesleyan over the weekend. Let's go through some starters for Mount Vernon to start this contest. Senior guard at 5'11", Milton Gage will get the start at point guard. Cade Ruxiger, having his career year, wearing number 3 for Mount Vernon tonight, will be a hot shooter for them, coming off a 31-point performance against Indiana Wesleyan over the weekend. Freshman Trent Koning, Eric McLaughlin, and then arguably the best player for the Cougars, Kyle Kegley at 6'9", averaging 17.5 points. For the Foresters, it's the same starting lineup we've seen most of the year. Landon Jordan, Ben Hummerkaus, Hank Pulver, Lane Sparks, and potential player of the year in the Crossroads League, Zach Goodline. Bryce, we're in store for a great one. Big crowd tonight inside Platt Arena, and the fans are ready to roll.
And so are we, Preston. You know, it's a great game. It should be a great game, I should say. This is going to be fantastic. It's a great atmosphere. The crowd's ready to go, and we're ready to go.
As Bill Walker, the PA announcer, goes through the starting lineups for the Foresters, we just want to welcome you in and thank you for watching these games all season long. As most of you probably know, this is potentially the last game in the old Platt Arena. Huntington's going to be making renovations throughout the summer, and they've actually already started that for next season. So things will be looking a little different here next year for this Forester side and any Crossroad League opponent that comes in here. So just very grateful for this environment, the small town feel, and obviously Huntington always has great followings throughout the season.
They do, and that's one thing that the fans, you can always count on great fan support here in Platt Arena. They've encouraged for the student body to show up, and it sounds like they have. This is going to be an electric atmosphere. Mount Vernon, they came here a few weeks ago to Platt Arena, and the Foresters beat them. But, you know, Mount Vernon's got shooters. They've got guys that can defend. So this is not a, you know, the Foresters can't just come into this game thinking, you know, they got this one in the bag. They're going to have to play, and they're going to have to play well for the Foresters to come out on top.
This will be another tight one between these two sides. As mentioned, these two teams just played about a week and a half ago, and Mount Vernon took HU all the way down to that last buzzer. It was actually Joel Dyer who came up with huge shots in the end of that game to push the Foresters over the top. We're ready to roll. It's Crossroads League tournament time. Foresters trying to take a deep run after the regular season has concluded. Big home crowd again tonight. Tip is up and Mount Vernon will control. Starters of Gage Ruxiger, Koning, Eric McLaughlin, and Kyle Kegley. Milton trips right away, loses control, and it's a jump ball, so Huntington will get it right away.
Nice job of HU to force that jump ball. And the Foresters, let's see what they can do here with their first possession on offense. Scoreless here early.
Foresters coming in their first offensive possession of the night. Zach Goodline will lead the way. Him and Sparks coming off another huge performance over the weekend at Goshen. Hummerkaus, top of the key, up to Jordan. It's tipped away, and Kegley's got the loose ball heading the other way for the Cougars. Coast to coast Kegley, shot fake. McLaughlin, wing three is pure.
Well, I'll tell you this, you know, you saw in that last possession, the Cougars were able to move the ball around, set his feet, and he got a nice shot to go in there from up top.
Zach Goodline back in control up to Pulver. He wants an early three, top of the key. It's short, rebound down to Koning. Huntington scoreless on their first two possessions on offense. Mount Vernon a tough out in this tournament, sitting at the 6th seed. Milton Gage off to Ruxiger, coming off that 31-point performance, takes it into Ben Hummerkaus. Inside, now to McLaughlin again, blocked by Pulver. Loose ball to Kegley.
Hank using that 6'8" frame to really get up there, and a nice block by the senior.
Koning wide open three from the corners, long. Hummerkaus with the board.
Nice job at Ben to crash the boards that time. Let's see if we can get a shot here.
Pulver drives in through the contact and is fouled, and that's going to go on Kegley, his first of the night. That'll send Pulver to the line for two.
Yeah, nice patience there by Hank. Drew the foul, through contact. He'll get a chance at the line. Cougars up 3-0 here. Bryce Lippy, Preston Husband here inside an electric Platt Arena here on the campus of Huntington University.
Huntington 13-2 inside Platt Arena this season as Pulver puts the first one up and gets the friendly roll. Pulver has not shot free throws all that well this year, but does knock down his first attempt tonight. Just a 65.5% free throw shooter on the season.
Well, he's done about everything else you could ask for a senior, Preston.
Yep, he's had a great career. Comes into the night with over 1,040 career points. Misses the second, so Mount Vernon a chance to extend the lead here early.
Perhaps I put the radio kiss on him there.
Goodline has the steal back the other way. Pulver loses it out of bounds, and Cougars will take over as Pulver just gets a little too ahead of himself on that break.
Yeah, a little bit of sloppy play there, I've noticed the first few possessions from Huntington. Slow it down, get a good look at the offensive end, and just be patient.
Coach Corey Alford talked with me yesterday about feeling good about scoring against this Cougars side, but the Cougars score it well as Kegley's doubled. Has to hand it off to Gage. Kegley wants a wing three, no good. Jordan skies for the rebound.
Nice job of landing that time to get up above everybody and crash the boards.
Goodline being pressured to Sparks, who drives in. Lots of contact, tough shot, and he scores it.
What a shot by Lane Sparks. Lighting a spark inside Platt Arena.
He does that so well.
Through the contact, Preston, very impressive.
Absolutely, as McLaughlin throws it straight to Coach Corey Alford. So another turnover for Mount Vernon here.
Nice catch, Corey, down there in the front row.
He's got his green zip-up on tonight. The Foresters in their home whites, Mount Vernon in their dark blue colors that we saw just a week and a half ago in this building. Goodline being pressured again. Jordan holding it at the top of the key. Hands it off to Goodline, who rolls through the screen. Now to the hoop, up through the contact and scores.
What a shot, Zach Goodline, showing you there why he is the potential Player of the Year candidate in the Crossroads League.
He's done it all season long, Bryce, and he's off to a good start tonight. It's 5-3 Huntington, 3 minutes gone in the first half. Rugsiger coming off that huge game, can't find anyone, all the way to Kegley in the right wing. Koning, the freshman, drives and looked like he walked, and he did.
Traveled right in front of the official. Ref going to call that every time. That was a good call there for the from the ref, and the Foresters will get the ball back.
Not going to get away with that one too often.
Nope.
Standing that close to the official as Pulver wants to go to work now. 16:40 remaining, 5-3 lead for Huntington. Looking for the season sweep over Mount Vernon. Good line to lob up to Jordan, couldn't finish the jam, and Milton grabs the loose ball. Goodline knocks it away, and Pulver gets the steal. Huntington running again. Goodline bumped off the ball, and Coney's going to pick up his first foul, and that really was a good foul, Bryce, because Goodline was out in front of everyone.
Yeah, Goodline being aggressive there. You know, just very nice possession there.
Jordan turns it over, and Mount Vernon has a chance to tie or take the lead here. Rugsiger being guarded by the length of Hummerkaus. Kegley over to Koning. Corner three, he's got it.
Well, and that's what you can't let him do. You know, the turnover for Jordan leads to offense for Mount Vernon at the other end, and you know, if we're going to win the game, we're going to have to eliminate the turnovers and easy buckets.
Good line dribbling against Gage. Now goes between the legs, throws it up top. McLaughlin steals it away from Mount Vernon, but then he travels. So it goes right back to the Foresters, and that's going to take us right to our first media timeout. We'll be right back after this short break on FDN Sports. Six-5 early lead for the Mount Vernon Nazarene Cougars. Preston husband Bryce Lippy. A sloppy game we were just talking about off air there, Bryce. Both teams, Mount Vernon with 6 turnovers, Huntington with 4, and Huntington's one of the best teams in the nation taking care of the basketball.
They are, Preston, and you know, just think about it. We're only at the first media timeout, and so far we've got 10 turnovers combined between the two teams. You know, whoever's going to win this game, I would imagine, is going to have to limit the turnover battle, and sometimes this game is as easy as putting the ball in the hole.
Sparks has it, left wing, tough three, no good. Rebound down to Gage, and Mount Vernon pushes the pace. McLaughlin, easy lay-in.
Well, McLaughlin there gets the easy bucket for the Cougars, and that'll extend their lead.
Jordan has it right around the free throw line, off to Sparks, who's working hard to get a shot. Pulver now with it, right wing. Hummerkaus has it, yet to shoot a shot yet, 5 minutes in. Off the dribble against Kegley, who's got that foul, up and in with the floater.
Great shot by Hummerkaus. You usually think of Ben as, you know, spot up three-point shooter, but showing you a little bit of his repertoire there as he drives into the paint and gets an easy two.
Rugsiger misses the corner three. Goodline pushing the pace. 5-on-3 for Huntington. Goodline to the hoop.
Goodline to the hoop and the bucket. And the Foresters have the lead back, Preston.
9-8 right now as Huntington and Mount Vernon both playing at a pretty fast pace 6 minutes into the matchup.
If you like offense, you like this pace.
And that was the case last time as well. Huntington won the game 87-82. Kegley drives in to the corner to Ruxiger. Can't get the shot off. Koning, 15-footer, got it.
Wow, Koning, has really been a thorn in the Foresters' side so far. He's got, I want to say what, Preston, 7, 8 early points at least.
He's got a few early baskets. Just a freshman came in here last time and scored 7 points. Goodline wants some more as he shoots a floater. It's knocked away. McLaughlin grabs the loose ball, and he's fouled by Jordan. So the first Forester foul of the night's on Landon.
And Landon, he's, like I said, he's kind of the straw that stirs the drink. And that's going to be a big key for him. 6'9" sophomore. They're going to double you in the post. You got to stay out of foul trouble.
So he picks up his first, the Foresters' first, a change, the first one of the night for Mount Vernon and Huntington. Guy Barica comes in along with Clay Hilliard, who really torched the Foresters in this building last time. Joel Dyer in for HU. McLaughlin knocked away. Sparks with the steal.
Yeah, get it, Lane. Go,
he
Lane.
has that one ripped away. And Ruxiger picks up the loose ball to Barica, and he slams it with 2 hands.
Wow. What an athlete there. He slammed it home right over Goodline, and Mount Vernon showing some athleticism early on.
Goodline through the lane again, misses another floater. Koning with the rebound. Koning wants to push the pace again, goes coast to coast, and he's fouled by Dyer. And he's going to head to the line for 2 shots.
So Dyer picks up the foul there. The Foresters, I don't want to say that Mount Vernon wants it more right now, but to me, it definitely seems like Mount Vernon's playing just a little smarter, a little more efficiently than the Foresters are at this moment in time. And so Huntington's got their work cut out for them, as this Mount Vernon squad very scrappy at the outset of this ball game, Preston, and the Cougars have the Foresters right where they want them at this point. I know it's early, but still, you got to think the Cougars have come to play tonight.
Koning knocks down both, so it's now a 5-point advantage for the Cougars. Goodline's having to work extremely hard, all 94 feet right now. Hands it off to Sparks, who drives right. All the way to Dyer, wide open 3 from the corner, short, rebound Hummerkaus. Into Jordan, jam!
There you go, big fella. There you go, that's what we've been waiting for. Landon with the dunk.
Jordan cutting through the lane. Kegley wants an answer from 3, rims in and out, Sparks rebound. Sparks pushing that pace again, dribbles through. Hummerkaus catches right wing against Barica, slides through the contact and gets the bucket.
And one. What a play for the Foresters.
Hummerkaus using that length against Barica, and he's got a chance to tie it up right now at 14 with 12:16 left in the game.
That'll work, Preston.
2 big guys going to work down low, and that's what we've been looking for all season long out of Hummerkaus, is that really tough post presence by him, and he's showing that right now with 2 buckets inside the paint early.
Great proficiency there by Hummerkaus. As I said, Ben, you normally think of Ben as a spot-up 3-point shooter, but showing off a little bit of his versatility.
Hummerkaus does finish that 3-point play. It's now all tied up, 14-14. Back and forth we go.
So just like that, 5-0 spurt for your Foresters.
Koning loses it off his foot, and another turnover, the 8th of the night already, 8 minutes in. And Koning that time going a little too fast, and the Foresters have a chance to take the lead once again.
If I'm the Mount Vernon coach, at the next time out, we're talking cutting down on the turnovers.
Coach Ronay in his 9th season has really turned this program into a competitor. Hummerkaus spin move, and the score again inside.
The run is now 7-0 as your Foresters lead 16-14 here on FDN Sports.
Rugsiger quiet so far, working against Pulver. Fadeaway 14-foot shot long. Hummerkaus rebound. Huntington a chance to add to that 7-0 run, Bryce, as Goodline is working with it now. Goodline over to Dyer. Good catch. Hummerkaus wing three. Bang!
Hummerkaus, 3-ball. 19-14. Foresters lead.
Hummerkaus doing a lot, and that should be off Mount Vernon again, and Sparks creates another turnover. And Huntington right now on a huge run, and it's mostly been Ben Hummerkaus.
Hummerkaus, the junior, doing it all right now for the Foresters. What a run.
He's 4 for 4 with 10 points. All
What
of
a
those,
run.
7 of those, I should say, coming here in the last minute or so. Jackson Paul in for the first time, goes to Hummerkaus. Rugsiger, the shorter defender, guarding him. Off to Sparks. He'll drive right side, 15-footer baseline, and he got it.
Lane Sparks, an outstanding sophomore guard for this Huntington University basketball team.
Gage working against Dyer. Both guys not very big. Dyer rips it away. Huntington a chance to take an early swing here in Platt Arena and really get this crowd involved. Hummerkaus from way downtown. Count it!
And that'll force the Cougars into a timeout.
Ben Hummerkaus on fire right now as he continues to rip the net. 5 for 5, 13 points, and he's the difference right now, Bryce.
Holy smokes.
Are you kidding me? Ben Hummerkaus, he is just coming in and ready to play. And this last matchup, he had 11 points total throughout the 40 minutes that he played. Right now, 9.5 minutes in, he's already got more than that tonight.
Well, if that didn't electrify this crowd, I don't know what would. Because Ben Hummerkaus has basically put the team on his shoulders. And, you know, what a time for him to do that. You know, I've been so proud of the way he has evolved over the course of this season. He has been a staple for this HU basketball team, and you love guys like that that'll just put the team on their back and fight for you.
HU kind of goes when Ben Hummerkaus goes, and right now he is in cruise control.
Oh, baby, you better believe it.
Kegley working against Pulver, goes right side, hands it off to McLaughlin, knocked away, and it's another Cougar turnover.
Oh my goodness. You know, Preston, I would be interested to see if we can get some stats here, how many turnovers Mount Vernon has, because over the last few minutes, it's felt like they've come in buckets.
11 turnovers already for the Cougars as Hummerkaus sets a screen. Goodline 15-footer floater, and he's fouled, and he's going to head to the charity stripe for 2 shots.
So Zach draws the foul. Foresters have really extended the lead, and that's got to make Coach Alford, Coach Strom, and the rest of the coaching staff incredibly proud, as the Foresters, like we've mentioned, have really extended this lead, as that free throw is good.
And Goodline right now has been getting to the line very often, really all season long. Huntington 3 of 4 from the charity stripe so far. But Goodline, one of the best free throw shooters, not just in the conference, in the nation, as he makes it both. Make it a 15-0 run for the Foresters.
You know, in a big game like this, you know, free throws matter all the time. But I would say in a big game like this, you know, I've always heard your heart rate, the adrenaline is always up by about 10%. And free throws really do matter in this case.
Huntington forces another turnover. Hummerkaus in transition, misses that one. Kegley rips it down.
He is human after all, Preston.
He sure is. His first miss of the night. Kegley working on Jackson Paul, who's in there. Some of the starters getting a rest for the Foresters right now. Gage, not much of a scorer, swings at McLaughlin. He's got 1-3, make it 2.
You know, McLaughlin has really been the offensive threat that the Cougars have needed. We really haven't seen Hilliard do much, but I expect that'll change. As the senior, you know, I talked with you before going on air, the senior Clay Hilliard went to Plymouth High School, and I went to Warsaw. We were in the same conference, and he was the same player in high school. He hasn't changed since leaving for college.
Rugseger misses a wide open corner three, and Hilliard's not getting as many minutes, only had 3 shot attempts against Iwu. Goodline with the shimmy and the score from inside the paint with the floater. You can't let Zach Goodline get going if you're this Mount Vernon coaching staff.
No.
Jackson Paul almost rips away a steal, and that'll force a couple of substitutions here for Huntington. Joel Dyer will take a seat along with Hummerkaus, Pulver, Landon Jordan, Mitchell Wilson, and Lane Sparks will check back in. Right now, a lot of question marks for this Cougars coaching staff as their team just continues to turn it over at an extremely high clip. 12 turnovers in 12 minutes.
You know, and again, if I'm Mount Vernon, you know, Mount Vernon's really kind of hurting themselves. You know, these are, you know, sure, the Forester defense has had a large part to do with it, but the Cougars have really kind of done themselves in. 12 turnovers in 12 minutes, and that just can't happen if you're going to want to advance in this tournament.
Jordan picks up his second of the night. Kegley was able to score the basket. Coach Alford's going to trust Landon to stick in there for now. Kegley tries to finish the three-point play, and he does just that. So now an 8-point lead with 8:30 left in Platt Arena for the home Foresters. Goodline going on a little run right now by himself, up to 8 points. He has it now, working with Jordan. Through the lane again, left hand, no good. Jordan, offensive rebound, and he puts it home.
Like I said, that size that he has is really beneficial when it comes to plays like that. Misses the shot, gets the board, puts it back in for the Foresters. Nice play.
Rugseger with another miss. Goodline through the lane against Kegley. It's knocked away, and they say it's off Huntington. So Mount Vernon will get possession, and that will take us to our under 8 media timeout. It's all Huntington right now, up 30-20 on the Forester Digital Sports Network. We'll be right back after this short break. A early 10-point advantage for the Huntington Foresters over Mount Vernon Nazarene. These two sides met a week and a half ago, and it was a very close contest. Huntington was able to sneak that one out, and over recent years, Huntington has played fairly well against this Cougars side. In the all-time series, they're 16-8 and 8-4 inside Platt Arena, and they're looking to extend that here tonight. Gage, Rugseger, Koning, McLaughlin, and Kegley out there. Gage is being guarded tightly by Goodline. Jackson Paul almost had the steal. McLaughlin wide open free throw line, misses it. Jordan goes way up top and tips it to Jackson Paul.
Nice job of landing that time to tip it to Paul and get the Foresters out and running.
7:30 left in the first half. Huntington trailed early, but a big 15-0 run. Goodline through the lane, scores it off glass.
Zach Goodline, Mr. Offense, Mr. Defense, Mr. Clutch.
He is exactly that. We saw a huge game winner here inside Platt Arena for him earlier in the year. Here comes the double from the backside. McLaughlin throws it out, and Jordan steals. Jordan takes it to the hoop, off the dribble, and scores with the left hand. How about that from the big fella?
what a nice play there by Jordan. You know, we normally are so used to seeing him go up and flush it, but I think that was a wise play. Just go ahead and lay it in. No need to be fancy there.
Rugsiger off to a slow start. Kegley has it. He looked like he might have walked. Instead, it's back to Rugsiger, who scores off the glass over Paul.
Rugsiger showing that athleticism.
And he's going to have to get going if Mount Vernon wants to get back into this one. He's their leading scorer as Kegley picks up his second about 30 feet from the basket.
Kegley being pretty aggressive there. As you know, I like this from the standpoint of Mount Vernon. You know, they've been very aggressive, and sometimes it's cost them. But in a game like this, you know, I don't mind a little aggressiveness. Now, if it's going to turn into, you know, some verbal confrontations, then we might have to, you know, reevaluate. But I like the aggressive nature of the Cougars, Preston.
These two teams have had several verbal confrontations this year as
know
Goodline scores over Barica. And right now, Zach Goodline's on a heater.
Heat check time for Mr. Goodline here.
Rugsiger throws it away. Goodline gets the loose ball. It's Wilson and him against Koning. Flips it to Wilson's going to have to recollect and send it all the way up top to Hummerkaus. Sparks, wing three. It's good!
Wow. Sparks. Between Sparks and Goodline, we might have a fire starting here in Platte Arena before too long, Preston.
These two are warming it up here inside Platte Arena. It's been Sparks, Goodline, Hummerkaus. Really everyone for the Foresters right now is bringing that juice offensively. Hummerkaus with 13, Goodline with 12, and Sparks with that last triple make it 7 as he comes in averaging over 20 points per game in conference play. And if Mount Vernon cannot slow down this Huntington offense right now, it's going to be a long night for them in Platte Arena.
You know, and I will say this, Carson,
hey, it's okay.
Preston.
I'm a big fan of Carson Watkins, so it's all good.
I will say this, Preston. You know, it's not March yet, but we might as well maybe call it what, an early madness alert?
Yeah,
man,
this team
has
can
been awesome.
This team can go deep if they continue to play defense and rebound. And right now, that's been their strong suit in this game, holding Mount Vernon to just 22 points in the first 16 minutes of the first half.
That's great. That's what you call great defense. And I would bet you Corey's got to be happy with that performance so far.
Holvard's staff able to finish over Hank Pulver as the Norwegian checks in for the first time tonight. He did not score in the last matchup that Mount Vernon played against Indiana Wesleyan, so he's already over his total this evening. Goodline out there with Pulver, Sparks, Wilson, and Hummerkaus. Goodline finds Pulver. Sparks has it again. He wants a run of his own. Instead, it's Wilson, corner three, long, and Rugsiger rips it down.
I think that would have brought the house down had he made that.
Sparks with the full court defense. Koning gets an open look. He misses it. Barica keeps it alive, but Hummerkaus grabs it. Goodline all the way to the hoop, up, and knocked out of bounds by Mount Vernon. And the score just 39-24 as Huntington continues to really play solid on both sides of the basketball.
You know, think about it, Preston. And I said it at the outset when we first started this run. You know, think about it. About 10 to 15 minutes ago, it was a 5-point Cougars lead.
It was.
And the Foresters really kind of, I don't want to say had their backs against the wall, but were really searching. And ever since that point in time, the Foresters have made shots, the defense has come to play, and this game has kind of turned around for HU.
Speaking of turnaround, Pulver in the lane with the left-hand hooks got his first basket of the night.
Shall I say I called it?
You sure did, and Pulver, that's really what he is best at, that little turnaround left-hand hook. He can go over either shoulder. That time it was his right shoulder.
What a great player Hank is. You know, I followed him when he was at Huntington North. You know, just a great all-around player, and, you know, he's really carried that momentum that was built in high school here just across the street to Platte Arena, and he has been such a solid player for the Foresters for all 4 years.
1,000-point scorer, 500 career rebounds, so he's done just that, and he really had to work hard to become the player he is today. Goodline picked up a little touch foul. Ruxiger inside, flips it up, can't get it. Hulvard's staff jumps up, and Hummerkaus blocks it away. Huntington with the ball once again. They have a chance to take a 20-point lead with a 3-ball here. Instead, it's Pulver working in the post again. This time, left hand on the right side, and he banks it home.
Wow.
It is a 19-point advantage right now for the Foresters.
You know, and beyond the basketball player that Hank is, he's even a better person.
You're exactly right about that.
And I think that really matters. You know, you can be a great basketball player, but at the end of the day, you know, personality is what people look for.
Hilliard misses the 3, and Pulver grabs the board. Huntington a chance for their biggest lead of the night.
And we haven't even reached halftime, folks.
Good line to Pulver, heat check, no good. Hummerkaus skies, rebounds, and scores! A 21-point advantage, and Corey Alford wants to bring his team to the huddle as they are all over the floor right now and taking it to the Cougars.
Holy moly. What a run here by the Foresters, a 21-point lead, and Coach Alford's going to take a timeout here.
Hummerkaus has been all over offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds. He's the leading scorer with 15, Bryce. 6 rebounds to add to his tally as well. And he's 6 of 7 from the field. So it's just all Huntington. You talk about that 5-point deficit they faced early. Now they're up 21. So they went on this huge run, and it just continued to push it further and further away from the Cougars in this first half.
You know, it's just hard to fathom because, like I said, I mean, the Cougars really had everything going right. And all of a sudden, you know, that's the great thing about the sport of basketball, Preston, is, you know, things can change in a hurry. And we have seen that from this HU ball club. They have been steady. They have enjoyed the support they've gotten from the home fans, and quite frankly, I think it helps them immensely to have this game on their home court.
So you talk about the home court advantage, Bryce. 13-2 at home during the regular season, looking for their 14th win inside Platt Arena this year. But if you look at scores around the league, right now, Taylor and Indiana Wesleyan are in a tight one. Taylor leads that one by 1 in the first half. If Taylor were to win and Huntington were to win, Huntington would host the game on Saturday against the Trojans, and that would be a dream come true for this Huntington side.
How big would that be, Preston?
I mean, just a chance to keep going, and right now, if you win this one, you're only 2 games away from the conference championship game.
Yep.
Late in the shot clock here for Mount Vernon. Staff off the dribble against Eyrig. Up in the air, Henry goes, and Staff scores his second lay-in.
So Mount Vernon counters as the lead is trimmed down to 19 here inside Platt Arena. Still in the first half here on FDN Sports.
A lot can happen over these last 24 minutes, but Sparks wants to keep it going. He misses it. Ruxiger back the other way quickly to Koning in transition for 3, and it's perfect.
Koning, you know, it's really been that steady offensive force that the Cougars have needed. He's come out playing well tonight. And you say he's only a freshman, correct? Yeah,
only a freshman, and he's the first Cougar in double digits tonight with 10 points. Good line jab, 3, yes!
Yes, sir. What hasn't Goodline done? I mean, seriously, Preston, I mean, he's carried them. He's carried them, and that's what you love to see.
He came into tonight, Bryce, 17th in HU history on the scoring list. And if you look at his points per game throughout his career, he's got a chance to be one of the few 2,000-point scorers in HU history, and he is going to return at Huntington next year for his 4th season with the Foresters. Goodline does pick up a little foul here, as the Mount Vernon faithful like to hear that. But right now, it's still a 19-point advantage, and the Cougars are just 2 fouls away from getting into the bonus. the end of the world there for Goodline, as he's played with a lot of fouls in the recent matchup as well. Joel Dyer takes it away. Got a chance for a lay-in, and he's got it. 50-29.
As your former color commentator would say, good day, mate.
He does have another good day, and Joel Dyer almost creates another turnover. 50-29, as Huntington is shooting 64%, and they have turned Mount Vernon over 15 times in the first half.
They come out a blazing, guns a blazing.
They haven't shot the three ball all that well, only 4 makes on 11 attempts, but a lot of easy basket, 18 of those points off of turnovers.
And just think about it, we're on pace for the century mark.
And there's still a minute 20 left in the first half. Ruxiger with 3 on him to the corner, all the way to T.C. Molk, who's going to fire from the wing, and he hits.
So Molk converts, and it is 50-32. Foresters.
Spot on, Bryce, as we got a minute left in this first half. Jackson Paul out there with Dyer over in another lefty lane, Sparks. He drives to that right side, nowhere to go yet. Through the lane, flips it up and gets the roll.
Lane Sparks, you know, I know we were talking off air. You said he's your favorite player. Well, now we see why. I mean, he and Goodline have really carried the team so far in the first half. That's kind of been a running theme.
Mount Vernon tries to go into staff. The Foresters defense surrounds him, as it's still going to be Mount Vernon ball underneath their own basket. They'll trigger it from underneath there with Koning taking it out. They really need to cut into this lead and see if they can get any type of momentum going. Staff to Ruxiger, takes a long one, and he's fouled, and count the 3, as Jackson Paul didn't allow Cade to land, makes the basket and cuts it to 17.
See, and that's one thing that Paul, I mean, you know, you got to know better than that. You know, if he's going to shoot the 3, let him shoot it. Don't help him out. And the Cougars now with a 4-point play possibility, as the lead you mentioned possibly could be cut to 16 here, as the lead was 21 at one point.
So Ruxiger will try to go finish the rare 4-point play. That's his second field goal of the night, and he knocks down the free throw. So not having that same huge performance he did over the weekend against Indiana Wesleyan, but he's someone that can always get hot, averaging over 18 points per contest.
And all of a sudden, the lead is trimmed to 16, and the Foresters just got to be patient, get back to doing what was working.
Jackson Paul dribbles with 12 on the clock, hands it off to Sparks, now 10. Sparks working on Gage, 6, drives in, right side, turnaround, jump shot, off the rim, knocked to Paul. Last second 3 is not gonna count, as he didn't get it off in time, and the Foresters will take a 16-point advantage into the halftime locker room, Bryce, as they come out and go on a huge run to end this first half.
Yep. Well, I mean, it's a tournament game, Preston. You knew that Mount Vernon wasn't going to go down without a fight. Still got 20 more minutes. You know, the Foresters, if I may give some just quick keys here, second half adjustments. You know, I think the Foresters just got to get back to doing what they were doing. You know, executing at the offensive end, shooting well, very well from the field, and as you mentioned, have not made many threes, but they've had a lot of inside opportunities go their way, and so Foresters just need to be patient, and you got 20 more minutes to try to get yourself a win, and maybe we'll see what happens with the Indiana Wesleyan Taylor game, maybe host another tournament game, but first things first, got to take care of your business and let the chips fall where they may.
The chips are falling perfectly right now for the Foresters, as we're going to take a little break, and we will be back to talk about some statistics. Let Bryce tell you a little bit about himself and maybe a little bit of basketball knowledge and where he got all of that from his father, who was a basketball coach and loves the game as well. And then we will have the second half action. We'll be back here in about 5 to 7 minutes to update you on some statistics as Huntington leads by 16 into the halftime. We'll be back after this short break on FDN Sports.
So tonight, we would like to publicly express
We've got Coach Corey Alford on the headset here. 2 minutes until we start this second half. Coach, your team got off to kind of a slow start there in that first half, but really fired on all cylinders on offense. What allowed you to jump out to this big lead?
Yeah, we moved the ball well, but we turned them over quite a bit. We were able to go inside, get out in transition and run with some of the turnovers we forced, but all in all, really good half on both ends.
Coach, you got another good crowd inside Platte Arena. How much have they helped you in this first half and the rest of the season so far?
Yeah, our crowd is unbelievable. It's why we wanted this home game in the conference tournament. Hopefully it's not the last game in this version of Platte Arena, but if it is, we're going to send them out on a good note.
For sure. We'll have Bryce interview you after the game and talk to you then as Huntington tries to close out this second half. We'll get Bryce back on the headset as we'll adjust that and get him ready to roll. Bryce, we just want to talk a little bit about you. It's your first broadcast of the year, but obviously you've done some basketball games in the past at Warsaw and at Huntington University. So tell us a little bit about how you got into broadcasting and what this Foresters basketball program has meant to you as well.
Well, Preston, you know, as somebody, I'm just going to be very vulnerable here. As somebody that was born with a visual impairment, somebody who, you know, my dad has coached basketball. He coached for the Huntington North Lady Vikings from, I believe, 1997 or 8 to 2005. And so I've grown up in the gym. I've loved basketball. You know, if I can spend time in the gym, that's where I want to spend my time. And, you know, I always say basketball season is my saving grace during the winter months. Weather-wise, I'm not a big winter person, especially today. It was kind of nasty out there.
A little dreary.
But, man, I tell you what, the crowd has showed up. But, no, I mean, back to my love of the game. Basketball just at any level. I'm a big Indiana Hoosiers fan, as I know you are as well, Preston.
Yes, sir.
The Foresters have really had a great season, and it's been a tough couple of years for the Foresters, but between the success they had last year and what they built this year, it's going to be a special run to the national tournament, and I can't wait for it.
Back underway here in the second half, Bryce. You're doing an awesome job here as Kegley can't finish at the rim and Jordan rips down the board. But if you guys are listening at home, Bryce is doing this all off of the feel of my voice and the energy in the crowd, and he's doing an incredible job. As Goodline as well has had an incredible night, but misses that one. Kegley brings down the rebound.
You know, I always say, you know, I may be visually impaired, but why should I let that stop me, Preston?
100%, and we love having you on the broadcast here tonight. As we are also loving the score so far. Huntington up 16. Kegley shot fake to the lane. Rugsiger corner three, and it's good.
Well, and that's what you got to stop. You know, oftentimes the first 5 minutes of the first half and the first 5 minutes of the second half dictate a game. And right now, with that corner three that Mount Vernon just made, cut the lead down to 13. The Foresters just got to be patient, work their offense, and get back to doing what they were doing.
Good line lob up to Jordan, and he knows how to finish around the rim as he gets another slam in Platte Arena.
You want a slam? I'll give you a slam. Jordan with the dunk.
He's done that all year long. He's the leading field goal percentage shooter in the conference. Rugsiger not so bad himself, drives in off to Gage. Can't get the shot up working against Hummerkaus. McLaughlin able to finish with the left hand though.
McLaughlin has been very efficient so far at the offensive end. And for only being a freshman, gosh dang it, I did it again. For being a freshman, Preston, you know, he's showed a lot of composure as this is his first Crossroads League postseason game.
Goodline throws up a lob that time, and he throws it in the hoop as they're going to have to look and see if this was a 2 or 3-pointer. Goodline tried throwing a lob for another dunk to Landon Jordan, and instead he threw it in the bottom of the basket.
Well, whether it's a 2 or it's a 3, they all count the same. It's a bucket. And so we'll have to see what they decide here.
And it is going to be a three-pointer, so add another point on for the Foresters, 57-41. And that happens a strange amount of times that someone will throw the ball towards the hoop for a dunk.
I don't know
and
that
it
I've ever
goes in.
I don't know that I've ever seen that.
It's amazing. It happens a lot of times in transition. A team's running down,
Yep.
throws it at the rim, and
Yep.
sometimes it just goes in. And I guess when you're someone like Zach Goodline and you shoot the ball so well, sometimes you get lucky. Hummerkaus erases the shot, goes straight to Koning, can't finish. Hummerkaus board. Huntington with numbers again. Goodline throws it up to Pulver. Catch. Hummerkaus, three, long. Sparks grabs the board, 20 on the shot clock, drives in out to Hummerkaus again.
Just a little bit long on that triple.
Hummerkaus was wide open, but a little too strong as Huntington will keep possession with 14 on the shot clock.
You know, and to make things a little bit better for Forester fans, if you're just tuning into this broadcast, at last check, the Taylor Trojans were leading the Wildcats of Indiana Wesleyan. And if the Trojans win and we win, we're right back here in Platte Arena on Saturday.
We sure are. That'll be a 3 o'clock tip as Pulver gets another easy lay-in off a good line dish. Koning to Gage will not shoot the three. Kegley does from the corner, and he knocks down his first triple of the night.
He's done just about everything else for this Cougar squad. The three-pointer there from the corner will make this a, 15-point deficit?
You're right, and Goodline throws it away, so Mount Vernon a chance to cut into it, but Kegley can't handle the pass. And it's once again another Cougar turnover, and that continues to really be a big turning point in this game. Every time it looks like Mount Vernon can go on a run, they turn it over, and they've done that now 16 times tonight.
You know, and I hate to keep harping on it because, you know, I don't want to be negative or whatever, but, you know, if you're Mount Vernon, you've got to cut down on the turnovers. Turnovers lead to easy baskets, and that's what's happened here for the Foresters thus far.
Goodline has it. He's got Jordan rolling. Dyer three. First of the night is short, but Pulver saves it in bounds. Sparks takes one from the parking lot, and it's good!
Lane Sparks lighting that spark, or shall we say maybe he's lighting a firework.
You can call him
Platte Arena firecracker.
Rain Spark right now as he continues to rain down the triples. McLaughlin gets an easy score at the rim. But Sparks with the 30-footer, the lead is now 16.
You know, McLaughlin says anything you can do, I can do better.
Jordan misses, gets his own board and scores again, and Landon Jordan is feasting right now inside as he continues to score easy baskets.
Landon just an outstanding player, and he is really showing why, again, he should be the Crossroads League player of the year. He's making a valid point tonight.
Sparks has it, left wing, drives baseline. Gage, great defense on him. Out to Goodline. Goodline thinks about a long three. Now he's going to try it. It rims in and out as Gage rips it down. This place was ready to blow as Rugsiger gets a leak out, scores it, plus the foul on Sparks.
You know, Sparks being a little too physical there inside, and Lane, you know, being just a sophomore, but he's going to continue to learn. You just can't do that in this league.
No reason
teams are way too good, and that if you make mistakes like that, they're going to capitalize, and Mount Vernon does there.
And Rugsiger having a little bit better of a second half here. We'll take it to a short break with the players, a media timeout, under 16 here in Platte Arena. Huntington looking to maybe play one more in the old Platte Arena. We'll tell you more after the break. Platte Arena, 14:57 left in the contest. First of all, we want to thank our sponsors, several that you see on the screen: Brotherhood Mutual, First Federal Savings Bank, Nove, Salsa Grill, Pizza Hut, and JJ's, along with the Nest Brothers and several others. We want to thank them for their participation in Huntington University basketball this season. We also want to thank our producer in the back, Matt Fouts, doing a great job tonight. Our camera people as well doing a tremendous job as Ruxiger's able to finish the three-point play. And it's a 15-point advantage, but it's a 4-point advantage for the Taylor Trojans at Indiana Wesleyan. And that has huge implications for Huntington, Bryce.
You know, and I don't care, you know, I don't care what the circumstance is. Lucky Arena is a tough place to play.
It sure is.
You know, I've been there. I'm sure you've probably been there too at some point. Never been to a game there. I just toured there when I took campus tour, but it's a great facility. And Indiana Wesleyan usually plays well in their home court, but we'll have to see if the Trojans can play spoiler tonight.
Koenig knocks down a triple three, and now it's just a 12-point game with 14:30 left as the Cougars get out in transition and make the Foresters pay.
You know, and if I'm Coach Alford here, I'm saying, you know, somebody's got to get a body out on Koenig. You know, he is way too good to just leave him unguarded. You got to get out on him on the perimeter, because more often than not, he's going to knock down those shots, and he did there, as the lead is now trimmed down to 12 as you're watching HU basketball here on FDN Sports. Thank you for joining us. Bryce Lippy, Preston Husband with you. But it's been a great game so far. The crowd has been electric, but the Foresters just got to keep their foot on the gas pedal here.
Jordan goes to the line and knocks down the first. Jordan in his last game against Mount Vernon scored 14, had 7 rebounds and 2 blocks, and he struggles from the free throw line throughout the season, but he goes to the line this time and makes both of them count. 14-point lead again for HU. They need to stop on the defensive end to keep this momentum with the home crowd on their side.
Let's stem the tide here, boys. Stem the tide.
Hilliard in on Paul, and he's going to be called for an offensive foul, and he's letting the referee know, and he's going to get a technical along with it.
You know, Hilliard has always been, I mentioned, you know, we saw him play in high school. He's always been kind of a fiery guy. And, you know, even at the JV level, Preston, I saw him, you know, shooting threes, 30-footers even. And, you know, I knew he was going to be a great player. You know, I didn't know he would have this much success. He's a great player, but, you know, you can't let your emotions get the best of you. I understand if you're a little disappointed about the call, but you got to stay under composure there. Easier said than done.
Jackson Paul shoots and misses. His high school teammate Jordan catches, throws at the ball again. He's hammered and will go to the line. So there was no technical foul there on Hilliard as he threw a fist out of frustration towards the official. We've seen players in this league teed up for a lot less than that this season. And so he may have just got a little lucky as he'll take a seat on the bench, and Coach Renee gave him a long talking to right in front of us as well.
I was going to say, I think that Clay is lucky to have not gotten teed up there, but you have to stay under composure. I don't care, you know, what the scenario is. Just be smart. You know, there's no need to get out of control, let your emotions get out of control like that.
McLaughlin gets the Jackson Paul miss. He went 1 of 2. Ruxiger wants to run with it as he catches in the corner. Holford staff tries handing it off to Koenig. Instead he goes to Gage. Lob inside to McLaughlin, who catches, misses, own rebound. Staff puts home the miss.
So Staff cleans it up there at the offensive end, and the Foresters still have the lead, but little by little, we're getting a little nervous here, both as fans and here in the broadcasting booth.
And the fouls are starting to pile up now against Mount Vernon. That's their 5th in the second half, just 1 against the Foresters.
You know, and I was talking off air, Carson, to a fellow a Forester friend of mine, and they said, they predicted a lot of fouls here in the second half, and so far that's been true. The Foresters have to play through that.
Jackson Paul with the spin. He's hit on the arm and no whistle, but Sparks is able to steal and get the loose ball. Joel Dyer, a chance for a big-time three. It's short. Sparks grabs the rebound, but he's called for an over-the-back call, so that will be the second foul now on HU in the second half. And Corey Alford applauds the effort as Huntington's giving a ton of that on the offensive boards, but in the first matchup, Dyer was able to knock down some big triples. Right now, he's 0 for 3 from behind the arc.
Well, we'll have to see what happens here. But, like I said, the officials aren't going to call the game the same way they did in the first half, and that has become evident, and you just got to play through that.
Goodline continues to play through it as he throws it over to Sparks on the right wing, the lefty between the legs. Step back, Jay, and he almost had a chance for a 4-point play.
Round the rim.
In and out.
Round the rim.
And Lane Sparks will actually get to go to the line for 3 shots here, and he continues to be a force on the offensive side for the Foresters.
So they fouled him on 3.
He sure did.
My. Well, we've seen that, and we saw the rarest of plays early in the first half, a 4-point play, as that free throw is no good.
Sparks, an 86% free throw shooter, doesn't miss a whole lot of them, but he did miss the first one. He's got 2 more, knocks down the second, and it's a 14-point advantage with 1 more free throw coming to Sparks.
So Lane with another chance here at the stripe. Foresters have the lead. I'm Bryce Lippy, joined by the voice of the Foresters, Preston Husband. And Preston, you talk about, I've done a great job tonight. I think we've been fortunate to have you on the call for many of our games here this season. You've been a great addition to the team here at FDN Sports.
I appreciate that, Bryce, and what a fun year to get on the headset and cover this Foresters team. This is their best season that they've had since 2013 and 2014.
And what else would you rather be doing, Preston?
Exactly. It's an absolute blessing to be on the call, and of course, Corey Alford gives us a ton of time throughout the season. I know you've interviewed him before as well.
Yep.
And just one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, but it goes further than that with Coach Mark Green, which really is the individual that gave me this opportunity and encouraged the coaching staff to give me this chance. But then along with that, it goes to Coach Strom and Jared Yock, who really just provide a great community for the team, but they still have that fiery competitiveness, and that's why Huntington has been so good this season, and the players they've obviously brought in to lead this program have done most of the work as well.
Yeah, it's been a fun year, but it's not over yet. And not to keep reiterating, but there's a chance the Foresters could host another playoff game here this weekend.
We'll keep you in touch with that game as well, going on at Lucky Arena. There's a missed 3 by Mount Vernon, has Huntington a chance to gain more points to their lead. Mitchell Wilson will give it a try and misses from the corner, and Kegley rips down the board.
Just something I've noticed here, I feel like we haven't been quite as efficient offensively as we were in the first half. We had, 52 points going into halftime, and so far, we've got, 70?
We're at 69 to 56.
69, yeah.
As Goodline drives in, trying to add to that 69, pushed off the ball, and it's knocked out, it looked like by Mount Vernon, but instead they're going to give it to the Cougars. And a break for Lane Sparks is coming up as the freshman out of Utah, Henry Eyrig, checks in. Goodline has slowed down a little bit here towards the middle part of this second half. He still has 18 on 7 of 13 shooting. But Hummerkaus has been on the bench for a while, so something interesting to watch there. McLaughlin through the lane, can't score, gets his own miss, can't finish that one. And Hank Pulver's surrounded by 3 Cougars, and eventually it's a foul on Mount Vernon. And Huntington will keep possession, and that's actually going to put Hank Pulver at the line for a 1-and-1 situation.
the Huntington native from just down the road, Huntington North High School product, 6'8" senior, heading to the free throw line as the Foresters still have a pretty sizable lead of 13, but with the way Mount Vernon has played, you know, this lead could dwindle in a hurry.
Hank Pulver doesn't want any of that as he knocks down a free throw. He's not a big scoring guy at all, but Coach Alford talks about him getting his 8 and 5 nightly, and right now he's right on cue as he's got 8 and 4, misses the second free throw. So still a 14-point advantage, 70-56. Foresters still on top comfortably at the moment. Rugsiger drives in out to McLaughlin, who fakes the three. Wilson on him. Rugsiger corner in front of us towards the Mount Vernon bench. Throws it cross court to Koning. Great defense. Kegley three ball, and he knocks it down.
Like I said, there's no real double team. There's no, you know, there's nobody really surrounding him, leaving him wide open. And, you know, I don't know what else you expect him to do other than to step up and do what he knows how to do best, which is knock it down.
Pulver's got it against Kegley with 3 fouls, up and in with the nice roll.
Hank Pulver with the friendly Platte Arena roll around the rim.
Pulver up to double digits now with 10 points. Really
yeah.
gonna spark. Kegley step back three again, this time way short. Hits nothing.
Grab that board.
And
Grab that board.
collects. Good line through the lane, knocked away by Gage, and it's going to stay with HU as Gage with the good hands almost forced a Forester turnover. Another update, we're going to keep bothering you about this, but Taylor has Indiana Wesleyan on the ropes right now, up 57-52 in Lucky Arena, and Huntington does not want their home season to end yet before the new athletic facility comes to town. Good line, a wide open three, top of the key, rims in and out. Kegley rebound, 13-point advantage, and we're now under 10 minutes left in the contest.
You know, that's a shot you wish you would have had back.
That's
that
one
three was just in and out from the top of the key.
That's one that Goodline makes a lot of times. Rugsiger working on Wilson, little right-handed jump hook shot. He scores it with the rattle. And now it's an 11-point game, so Mount Vernon's staying right here.
Here come the Cougars, Preston. Here they come, and they're coming in full force.
A lot of body there with Goodline out top. Hands it off to Eyrig. Just 12 on the shot clock. Goodline's begging for the basketball. Instead, it's Dyer right wing. He's dribbling it through the lane. Can't get a shot yet. Jump, left-hand shot, banks it home!
Holy cow, with the shot clock expiring. He says, you know what, I'll take this.
That's the Joel Dyer we saw last time against Mount Vernon, hitting big shots. Marked that one down with 9 minutes left, putting the Foresters back up 13.
Living by the big shot, dying by the big shot.
Rugsiger gets his own loose ball. Three ball from Molk is good, and now it's just a 10-point lead for the Foresters.
And this is what Mount Vernon did the last time, Preston. You know, this seems eerily similar to what we had last time, but, you know, Mount Vernon's going to make their shots, right? They're going to make their shots, but you've got to counter at the offensive end, and you've got to make shots as well. And right now, the Foresters aren't doing that on a consistent basis, yet we still have the lead.
Goodline scored an easy one with the left hand, and Joel Dyer goes way up and runs into Molk as he's going to pick up his second foul tonight. Both similar fouls going up and trying to contest the three-point shot. It's a 12-point advantage as that's actually Dyer's third. Zach Goodline's going to go take a rest for a little bit. Well, he thought he was. He's going to stay in as Jackson Paul replaces Henry Eyrig, and joining him is Sparks, taking the place of Mitchell Wilson.
Coach Alford says no breaks yet for you, big boy.
Goodline doesn't get a whole lot of breaks, and I think he loves that being out there as he's up to 20 points on the night now. Several Foresters in double digits make it 5 Foresters as Landon almost creates another turnover. Now he does. Sparks pushes the pace towards Staff, up through the contact, and couldn't get the bucket, but he'll head to the line for 2.
Nice play there again, the Foresters, I will give them this. They're playing incredibly hard at the defensive end of the floor.
So it'll be another media timeout. The under-8 media in Platt Arena could be the last home game for the Huntington Foresters this season. They're looking for a little help from one of their rivals, the Taylor Trojans. We'll update you once again when we're back inside Platt Arena on FDN Sports. Back inside Platt Arena, just 7 minutes, 50 seconds left for Huntington to get a semifinal date with either Taylor or Indiana Wesleyan. Something to watch right now at home, though, if you're a Forester fan, is Ben Hummerkaus has not been in the game hardly at all here in this second half. So maybe nursing something down there on the bench as Sparks gets 2 freebies here. Southpaw sends the first one up. It's short. Sparks usually reliable at the free throw lines. Now missed 2 from the charity stripe.
You know, and that's what I said earlier about, you know, the intensity level, the anxiety level. You know, your blood pressure usually I've heard goes up by about 10% in the playoffs, and you got to stay composed. Easier said than done, but Lane able to cash in there at the charity stripe for that second opportunity. Made
1 of 2. Huntington up 13, 7:30 left. Freshman Molt for Mount Vernon hands it off to Gage, and it goes all the way out of bounds as Gage couldn't handle it. How about 21 turnovers now for Mount Vernon tonight?
You know what I call that? Getting it done at the defensive end. That is phenomenal ball pressure by the Foresters, and that's what Corey harps on. You know, ball pressure, defense, turning that defense into offense for the Foresters, and it has been an impressive display here for the Foresters on defense tonight.
The Mount Vernon faithful getting into this one as Milton Gage rips Zach Goodline, and that's Goodline's 3rd foul now, as he was a little too easy there on the ball handling. And the officials will come over to the scores table. I believe they'll reset the shot clock to 28 here because Gage did have possession for a short moment. And it'll be Mount Vernon triggering it inside. It'll be Milton Gage in charge.
So 28 seconds on the shot clock, Preston. I took my headset off so I could hear what the ref was saying. So I guess they've reset the shot clock to 28.
Rugsiger wing 3 is perfect, and it's a 10-point game again. Mount Vernon just will not go away.
And this is what you've come to expect. You know, it's tourney time. And, you know, the teams in this league, you know, they want, the Cougars want a part of this thing too. But the Foresters have something to say, being that it's here inside the friendly confines of Platt Arena.
Good line, 10 on the shot clock. Jackson Paul, corner pocket, it's good.
Holy cow. You know, Preston, just a little side note. I've come in here during the day because I've got a couple days where I've got some free time. And we came in here a few weeks ago, and Jackson was in here shooting all by himself. And you know what? I think that's really paid off because the last few games, he's been money in the bank.
Sparks through the contact on the other side, couldn't get it to go. McLaughlin missed the bunny on the last possession. Milton Gage to Kegley, thought about a corner 3, drives in, knocked away by Goodline, gets his own miss, and he's able to finish plus the foul.
What a play there. Zach Goodline fighting through the contact, and an and one opportunity coming up.
So it sounds like in that first half, at the end of the first half, that Ben Hummerkaus may have had some type of ankle issue. He's got ice on the ankle down on our left here, so that's not great news for Foresters fans. You definitely don't want to lose him, especially because of how well he played in that first half. And Kegley couldn't finish the three-point play. Jackson Paul collects the miss. 80-69, 6 minutes left. Jackson Paul out there running with Sparks, Goodline, Jordan, and Joel Dyer. Sparks through the contact, and he's called for an offensive foul.
So Lane, offensive foul there for the Foresters. And we will see what happens here as your Foresters hold an 11-point lead, 80-69. As again, Ben Hummerkaus leaving the game with an apparent ankle injury of some kind. If Corey comes over here for post-game interview, we'll have to maybe talk to him about that, see if we can get an update. But for now, the Foresters will have to play without him.
Mount Vernon a chance to cut it to single digits, and Jackson Paul picks up a blocking foul, and that should put Mount Vernon in the 1-1. As the whistles now are starting to even up. That's 17 fouls on Huntington and 8 on Mount Vernon, so Ruxiger will get a chance to cut this one to single digits. Mount Vernon so far in the second half has outscored Huntington 33-28. They have a chance to make it even more here as Ruxiger does knock down that first shot. 10-point advantage for HU. Still a lot of time left, just under 6 minutes. Ruxiger, second one up, and he's got it. He doesn't miss a whole lot of free shots. He's a great shooter, and he shows it there. Now a 9-point game as Mount Vernon's bench is coming alive.
They haven't been within single digits in quite some time, and their runs combined with the Foresters' inability to make shots on a consistent basis have gotten the Cougars right back in the ballgame.
Goodline, a tough floater, and he is the answer that HU's looking for right now as he knocks down a little crossover floater, and Coach Corey Alford's going to call a full timeout.
So that'll be a full timeout, and we're going to go ahead and take it with them here, Preston, as the Foresters have a lead. We'll have to see what happens when we come back after this. This is HU Basketball on FDN Sports. Bryce Lippy, Preston Husband, and Matt Faust directing our crew here tonight as your Huntington University Foresters have the lead as we are just inside crunch time here. About 5 minutes to play, and the Foresters have a good lead here, but we'll see what we can do. Preston?
Huntington up 82-71, 5 minutes left. Ruxiger working against Jordan, nowhere to go with it. Off to McLaughlin, Koning. Milton Gage right side. Kegley's got the advantage down low, doesn't have it yet. Now he does, drives in, Milton Gage inside. 5 on the shot clock. Ruxiger forces, misses, and Jordan collects. 11-point lead. Huntington has a chance to melt this one away if they can continue to score on the offensive side. That's a foul on HU, on Mount Vernon, and it looks like it's going to go on Koning as Sparks was cutting through the lane and was held up. So Lane Sparks has a chance to go to the line. This is the 9th team foul. The next one will put Huntington in the double bonus. Sparks needs to really knock down both of these, Bryce.
I was going to say, the last time he was at the line, he split a pair, but these are clutch free throws for Sparks as the first one is up and in.
Sparks tonight having another wonderful performance. He's only shot it 10 times from the field, but he's up to 16 points, the second leading scorer, as him and Goodline combine as one of the best backcourts in college basketball. A 13-point lead again, just over 4 minutes remaining.
84-71, Forrester's lead. As this crowd is coming alive, they know how important this game is.
Sparks gets the steal, coast to coast, up, Jordan with the follow hammer!
Holy cow. Landon Jordan, you might as well rip the rim off, man.
And Coach Jared
Holy
Renee is going to take a timeout, a full timeout, as Huntington comes back with a big swing and leads this one by 15. We're going to swing you to a commercial break and be right back inside Platt Arena for the final 4-12. Huntington trying to finish the job. Back inside Platt Arena, that is Dr. Emberton, the president here at Huntington University. She is a huge basketball fan, coached a lot of high school basketball herself in the state of Texas, and she is the one that was obviously crucial in the part of bringing Corey Alford in, and she has to feel very pleased about that hire right now. And Huntington's got 4 minutes to close it out.
Dr. Emberton, one of the best people on this campus. I love talking to her. She's just got a wealth of knowledge, and she's a great Christian lady.
Kegley continues to play very well here in this second half. He had a very slow start, similar to the last matchup between these two sides, but that little hook shot has Mount Vernon back within 13 points, and Jackson Paul's going to pick up a foul on the illegal screen.
Well, you know, fans don't like it, but you know, that ref, you know, the officials are going to call that every time. And the illegal screen gives the ball right back to Mount Vernon.
Personally, Bryce, I believe it was the right call. It was a little handoff from Goodline to Paul, and Paul just ran the defender over.
Yep.
So that is probably the right call from this officiating crew. McLaughlin throws it inside, ripped away by Goodline as Ruxiger couldn't handle it.
Go, Zach, go.
And Zach has it now on offense across the timeline. 3:30 left. Huntington a chance to put this one away with a few more baskets. Goodline with 10 on the shot clock. Make it 13 off to Pulver. Now 10 back to Goodline. Left wing against Gage. Drives in up to Jordan. He just couldn't catch. Goodline gets it, and it's blocked by Kegley out of bounds. And Huntington will keep possession. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Huntington's going to have to go very quickly as they inbound it from under their own basket. Sparks catches, drive, and he's blocked. It might have been goaltending, but instead it's called Mount Vernon ball, and Goodline picks up another foul. I believe that's going to be his 4th.
Zach got to be careful there. You know, in the game against I want to say, was it St. Francis? He fouled out.
He did.
And we had to play without him. You know, we have a more sizable lead than we did at that juncture with the St. Francis game. But, you know, Zach, you know, you got to be smarter than that. And we'll see if he can stay out of foul trouble here as Mount Vernon will go to the line.
Milton Gage misses the first of the 1-and-1. Lane Sparks grabs the rebound. He's got 3 defenders on him. He's screaming timeout, and they're going to call a jump ball.
See, I don't know. I tend to think that because it's so loud in here, maybe the ref didn't hear him. I don't know. You know, I don't know what happened there, but regardless, jump ball, and the Cougars will get the ball back.
Yep, Mount Vernon's going to keep possession there after that. Lane Sparks was looking right at the official in front of us, screaming timeout, was not granted. However, Huntington still with a 13-point lead, and right at 3 minutes left, just has to close this one out from the free throw line and on the defensive end like they did last time against the same Cougar side.
You just can't, I mean, I hate to keep harping on it, but as good as Mount Vernon is, the last thing you want to do is keep leaving the door open for the Cougars.
Kegley stripped by Goodline, and finally a foul is called, and Landon Jordan's going to head to the line with a chance to shoot 2 free throws.
Let's see what the big fella can do here from the charity stripe. Foresters with a 13-point lead, but we'll see what happens here as 6'9" sophomore Landon Jordan, possible Crossroads League Player of the Year candidate, steps to the line.
Jordan, only a 40% free throw shooter coming into the night. He's 3 of 3 now after that one. So the percentage is thrown out the window right now as Jordan's perfect from the charity stripe.
That's great to see. You know, in a game like this, you need all the free throws you can get. And Jordan makes the second one. It's a good one.
4 for 4 from a 40% free throw shooter. Landon Jordan stepping up when it counts, and the Forester faithful back into this one. McLaughlin fading away, 12-footer high arc, and gets it to go. A 13-point lead now for Huntington with 2:30 left. Goodline breaks the pressure with a little help from a Landon Jordan crunching screen. And Goodline's going to work against Gage. Any foul's going to put Huntington at the line for 2 shots. Pulver, Dyer, Jordan, Sparks, and Goodline out there. Dyer's got it now against McLaughlin. Over to Pulver. Pulver all the way to Sparks. Here's the dagger. No, as it goes in and out. Chance to maybe put Mount Vernon away there. Sparks just couldn't finish on the open 3. Still 13-point lead. 2 minutes left. Pull up from Rugsiger. No good. Kegley board. And Pulver's going to pick up a foul down low and send Kegley to the line for 2 shots.
So Hank with the foul. Forester's still nursing a 13-point advantage. Coming down to crunch time, just inside 2 minutes here from a lively Platt Arena on the beautiful campus of Huntington University.
Kegley's perfect on that first one. He's up to 16 points on the night, but nothing's really been easy for Kegley here tonight. He's shot it fairly well from the field, but has not always been that involved offensively, and that's kind of a testament to the player he is, because if you look down at his stat line, he's got 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. While we have a full timeout here, we'll update you on the Taylor-Iwu game. They are tied 68-68 with 55 seconds left. Taylor has the ball. So it's going to be definitely crunch time there as Indiana Wesleyan just got the ball off a Taylor turnover. So Wesleyan has a chance to potentially win it in the last few seconds. But right now it's really up to Huntington to take care of business to move on into that second round either way.
Yep, you know, control what you can control. You know, in the playoff race, that's what it's all about. You know, you can sit here and say, well, I wish we had another home game. I wish this, I wish that. But in the grand scheme of things, if you take care of what you can take care of, the rest of the scenarios will play themselves out and we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that other game. But Preston, the Foresters, in a good spot here.
They sure are. They've really come out and played a great game offensively tonight. And the defense lacked a little bit for a while in that first half, but now you look and Mount Vernon's at 76 points. They come into this one averaging 77, so right around their average. As another score around the league, Marion knocked off Bethel in Indianapolis tonight. Marion was the 4 seed, Bethel the 5. So Marion moves on to face either Grace or St. Francis. Kegley gets the roll on the second free throw. It's an 11-point game here in Platte Arena. Pressure coming from Mount Vernon, and a foul from Rugsiger is quickly called, and Dyer is going to go to the line.
So Joel goes to the charity stripe once again. You know, oftentimes this is how it happens. You know, you salt the game away at the free throw line. Let's see if the Foresters can do that.
Dyer with that pretty stroke knocks down the first. He's been a little quieter this time around against Mount Vernon, but you look down, he's got 5 points. Yet to knock down a 3 ball and probably won't get the chance here, but he really put Mount Vernon away and hit some big shots in the last matchup in Platte Arena.
Joel Dyer, huge free throws there, makes them both, and the Foresters extend the lead up by 15.
Make it 10 as Rugsiger knocks down a 3, and Goodline's fouled by Gage as he wasn't pleased with that call as well, and now Goodline's going to go to the line. Goodline tonight just continues to do what Zach Goodline does. He came into this program and flipped the switch. He's got 22, 4 assists, 4 rebounds on 9 of 17 shooting, so over 50%. And this is where he makes a lot of his monies at the free throw line, over, well, nearly 90% on the season.
So Zach with 2 chances here. First one's up and good. Good line from the start of the game to this point. He has been everything you could possibly have wanted, as the second free throw is up, and it's good. And the Foresters continue to stretch the lead.
12-point lead for HU with just over 90 ticks left. Rugsiger takes a tough one in the corner, and he knocks it down. So now back within 9 with a minute 20. Sparks is hammered by McLaughlin, and Sparks is now going to head to the line. You look at what Lane Sparks and Zach Goodline have done. They average around 40 points per game combined in conference play.
What a stat.
And right now they're at 41 with 2 more free throws coming for Sparks.
That just shows the dedication that these 2 young men have had to this program in the years that they have played for the Foresters, as it's becoming a free throw shooting contest here inside Platte Arena, as that free throw is up and it is good, and Sparks just continuing to play very well here tonight.
Sparks knocks both of them down as he's now up to 19 on the night. Continues to play extremely well in Platte Arena. Mount Vernon really in their last chance here. Kegley launches up one, it air balls, and it's going to be out of bounds on Mount Vernon as Kegley throws up his second wild miss of the night, and Huntington is in control. 11-point lead, a minute 12 left, and Huntington has shot free throws well all night. If they do that over this last several seconds, they'll come away with another home victory, and that's looking likely as Jackson Paul will head to the line for 2 shots.
Jackson Paul, you know, he's been a great player as well for the Foresters. You know, he's one of those guys that hasn't gotten a ton of playing time. He has been getting more playing time over the last few weeks. You know, at the beginning of the season, he really didn't play much, but over the last few weeks, he's earned the trust of Coach Alford and his staff. And Jackson gets a chance to sew this one up for the Huntington Foresters and send them on to the second round of the Crossroads League tournament on Saturday.
knocks down the first and second. A nice ovation for senior guard Eric McLaughlin as he checks out of his last collegiate game. He played very well again tonight. He's played well against Huntington this season. He had 5 points here tonight and just continues to provide a spark for this team. He had 14 and 5 rebounds tonight. He fouled out of the game, but the fan section behind the Cougars bench, as Coach Renee calls the timeout here, up 13 with a minute left, down 13 with a minute left, I should say, gets a nice ovation for one of their few seniors on this side. It's been a tough night for Mount Vernon as they really came out swinging right away, but it was the offensive efficiency for HU that pushed them away from the Cougars in this one.
Yeah, the offense has just been too much, and you know that's what we've seen. It's kind of been a running theme for the Foresters all season long, and you know, credit to this crowd. They came out on a night when, like I said, the weather hadn't been that great today. They could have chosen to stay home, but what did they do? They came out and supported this fine group of young men, and the Foresters will advance to the second round of the Crossroads League tournament on Saturday. Time and destination still TBD as far as I know.
We know that it'll be at 3 o'clock, but whether it's here in Platte Arena or in Lucky Arena, Indiana Wesleyan's the question, because those two sides, Taylor and we were heading to overtime. So if we get a final while we're on air, we'll try to give it to you, but it's looking like this one's just going to be melted away here with Mount Vernon in Huntington. Koning has it inside, throws it out to Mulk, drives in, and Pulver rips it away. Another turnover as Goodline has it now, 94 feet from the basket. Across the timeline, Kegley tries to foul, nothing called, and there's the foul on Koning as Zach Goodline will head to the line for 2 more free throws, and he's been awfully good from there tonight along with the rest of the Foresters team. 23 for 28 from the free throw line here tonight.
The Foresters, you know, another thing we really haven't talked about much, they've really shared the ball well tonight too. You know, it's been sloppy at times with the turnovers as Zach converts on that first opportunity from the charity stripe. But the Foresters have really done a fantastic job of sharing the ball, working it around, and getting good looks at the offensive end as Zach gets another opportunity here from the line as you hear the fans applauding in the background.
And they're also applauding Kyle Kegley, who checks out of his last collegiate game. And the Forester faithful now sees the future. They're going to win this first round matchup between Mount Vernon, a season sweep against the Cougars this year. It is so hard to beat a team 3 times. But right now, the Foresters able to do it. Rugseger wants one more basket, can't get it. And now Huntington a chance to dribble it out with Dyer. And he's actually going to head to the free throw line once again as the blocking falls call is on the Cougars.
Blocking foul is called on Mount Vernon. And, you know, you mentioned season sweep. I mean, how many times has that happened in the history of Forester basketball? I mean, we saw it last year with Marion getting the season sweep over the Foresters as Dyer converts on that free throw attempt. Chance to put the finishing touches on a nice all-around game tonight here for the Foresters as that free throw is up and it is good. And the Foresters are going to win it.
They beat Mount Vernon for the second time in a week and a half, and they do it in a dominant fashion here at the end of this second half. 100-83. The Foresters move on.
It's over. It's over. Your Foresters are victorious. 100-83 here to the delight of this Forester crowd. And Preston, what a great opportunity I had to call this game with you tonight, and I loved every minute of it.
It was a very exciting game, back and forth for a while. and the Huntington fans extremely thrilled to have this team to root for this year. They moved to 23-6 overall and make it 14-2 at home. And if Taylor can upset Indiana Wesleyan in overtime, the Foresters will be right back here in Platt Arena on Saturday. We're going to give the headset to Coach Corey Alford, and Bryce is going to go ahead and do the interview here. He's actually going to go grab some stats, and then we'll be right back to talk with Bryce Lippy on the call here today. So we'll hand the headset off to Coach Alford, and Bryce will take over.
Bryce, what's up, my man?
Corey, talk about this win. Listen, I mean, you and I have talked in the past several times about, how much I care about this basketball team, how much this win means to me. But, forget about how much this win means to me. How much does this win mean to you and the guys?
Well, it's a big one. I don't know how this Iowa-Taylor game is going to turn out, but potentially the last game in Platt before the renovation. But our goal all year was to get a conference home game in this tournament. I wanted to see what this crowd would look like, and they were big time tonight. I was happy with how we played. Our bench stepped up. Ben went down with light injury, and he had to sit out that second half, and guys stepped up. So extremely proud of that effort.
Yeah, talk about Ben. I mean, what do you know so far about the extent of the injury? I mean, you're not a doctor, but what do you know?
No, he'll be fine. We held him out with precaution. Okay. He could have gone, but we just held him out, and our bench guys were stepping up.
Do we know the extent of the injury?
No, I'm no doctor. You said that.
Okay. As far as Zach is concerned, I mean, between Zach and Hank and Landon, I mean, those three really carried the team, and Ben in the first half. I mean, what does that say about the character of these guys to, Zach especially, put the team on his back and do what he's done all season long?
Yeah, all 5 starters in double figures, shot over 50%, moved the ball well, and I was most proud of our defense. We turned them over 25 times. That's a team that doesn't turn it over very often. So I was extremely pleased with our defensive effort. Our ball pressure was good. Our help side was good. And if we want to advance in March, we're going to have to be able to guard at the defensive end. So,
well, Coach, I'm proud of you. Great job tonight. Great win. Fans, thanks for coming out to support the team. But Corey, we wish you the best of luck, and nice win tonight, Coach. Good luck in the tournament.
Bryce, thank you very much, man.
You bet.
We want to thank, of course, all of our listeners and watchers here tonight. It may not be the last home game for the Foresters as Taylor's up 1 point with 2:36 left, but we're going to do a little send-off here. Bryce, go ahead and take us through your final thoughts here this evening on this great win, 100-83 final between Huntington and Mount Vernon University.
Well, 100 points, right? 100 points. You always love to see that, but regardless of the score, I know, all that was important to Corey was that the players come out, they control their own destiny, you do what you need to do, and you move on to the next game. And as far as I'm concerned, it wasn't a perfect game for the Foresters, but it was darn near close, as, Coach Alford mentioned there in the post-game interview. 25 turnovers forced by the Mount Vernon Cougars, a team that really doesn't turn it over that much. And, we basically, took Hilliard out of the game. That was one of the keys coming into the game. I thought Hilliard would be much more of a contributor than he really was. We took him out of the game, but when you got guys like Cagley and the freshman coming back, I apologize, I forget his name.
Coney.
Yeah, Coney. When you got guys like him coming back, they're going to be a strong team next year. Don't count them out. Season sweep, that's great, but the Foresters have much more work to do. You know that, I know that, but it's going to be a very exciting finish to the season no matter how it ends up. And I would just encourage you Forester fans, please, 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 if there's any time to come support this fine group of young men, please support them now. They need your support more than ever. It's going to be a fun ride to the finish line. Preston, thank you so much for allowing me to be on the call this game tonight. I had so much fun and really enjoyed it, and I hope you fans enjoyed it as well.
Bryce, I think I speak for everyone listening tonight. You did a remarkable job. We had a great time. Huntington may play a home game. Taylor's up by 1 point with a minute left. I wish we could stay on, but we're not going to be able to. But if Huntington is at home, we will be on the call on Saturday at 3 p.m. Not sure who the partner will be. It might even be Bryce. We'll have to see what's going on in his schedule. And for tonight, the Foresters are victorious 100-83. How about 23 wins, 6 losses, 14-2 at home. Foresters 10 in a row. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Good night, everybody.